For more than 7 decades, Palestinians have been under occupation. They've faced forced displacement, imprisonment, and even death. During the last 4 months alone, Israel has killed more than 30,000 Palestinians, the overwhelming majority of them women and children. There seems to be growing international support for the Palestinians, but despite that, the situation on the ground doesn't seem to be getting any better. Why is that? I sat down with Palestine's Foreign Minister Riyad Al Maliki and talked to him one-on-one. Mr. Minister, it's been more than 4 months of relentless bombing and targeting of Palestinians, but also I think it's fair to say that for the first time we're seeing a huge reaction from the global south in particular. But why is it that despite all this reaction in support of the Palestinians, these policies of targeting of Palestinians, occupation, expansion of illegal settlements continue? Why is that?
Because, Israel feels immune from any form of criticism or sanctions. Israel has been always felt that's really above accountability. Israel has been committing crimes all the time against the Palestinian people and never felt obliged to give accounts to anyone because it's been shielded by United States of America. United States of America provided full protection to Israel for its crimes committed against the Palestinians. So the situation didn't change anything today. Israel still feels that it enjoys that impunity and that gives it, the feeling that, it can continue committing crimes against, Palestinian people in Gaza, but also in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. So after 4.5 months, Israel continues doing that, even at a point when Israel started realizing that it's really losing some of its closest friends. Yet, as long as the American position stands still, did not change, and still supportive and protective, then Israel feels completely impugned.
On the one hand, we are seeing a growing boycott movement, calling for boycott of Israeli products and so forth. But on the other hand, we have some who are saying that there needs to be economic interdependence created with Israel. Israel needs to be integrated in the system, especially in the region I'm talking about. How do you view this school of thought, which is talking about having economic relations with Israel, especially of Arab and Muslim countries? And by that, they claim that they will have greater leverage to influence Israelis and create more favorable conditions for the Palestinians.
Look, we have to be clear. There are two schools. One school is, you provide incentives to Israel, but incentives in order to encourage it to take the right decisions and the right actions, but not incentives to continue doing the wrong actions. And the other school, is that when Israel does not yield and when Israel continues committing crimes, then maybe sanctions will do. And so it's very important, to look into these matters. It's very clear today that, that school proposing sanctions is not flying yet because, countries and peoples are very much afraid of being labeled anti-Semitic. And that's why, they hide behind such position. So sanctions might not be that popular option today among countries. They prefer engagement. They prefer providing incentive to Israel. And that's why some of the countries wanted to normalize relations with Israel, hoping that full integration of Israel in the region might really allow Israel to think that, it's safe. And, when it is safe, then it could really look back and agree to liberate or to end its occupation of the Palestinian territory. But who said that that's going to be the case? Because the moment that Israel feels relaxed and feels acknowledged and accepted within the region without paying a price, then why they should really then pay a price for nothing? Why Israel has then to end its occupation? Why they have to withdraw its occupying army from the West Bank, from Gaza, and from East Jerusalem. Why? What kind of incentive? If there is no incentive, if everything that Israel was able to get has gotten it for free, then you know why Israel has to take that initiative and to offer its withdrawal for nothing. So one has to think it seriously, closely, and to understand that the only language that Israel understands today is the language of sanctions, that there is nothing for free, that anything that Israel wants to get has to pay for it. And that payment has to do with it ending its occupation. This is really the message that Israel has to understand.
Benjamin Netanyahu has made his position on two-state solution very clear, yes, that he opposes it. Some experts, academics are now saying that a two-state solution is probably not even achievable. And this continuation, this insistence on a two-state solution, ultimately the Palestinians are losing out. What's your take on this?
Look, we have been working for the last 50 years for a Palestinian state. And many Palestinians have sacrificed their lives for a Palestinian state, for raising the Palestinian flag, for becoming, a citizen of an independent Palestinian state. We are not going to give it up because, Netanyahu is against the two-state solution, or because Netanyahu has created facts on the ground. That's facts, they sound to be irreversible, but they are reversible. Because, the settlements were evacuated in Sinai and in Gaza. So why not also to happen the same in the West Bank? What I wanted to say that, we have to stick in the two-state solution. We have to work very hard on it. Right now, there is world consensus in favor of the two-state solution, with the exception of Israel. At one point, the international community should take the initiative and take a resolution to the Security Council and to get a vote based on Chapter 7, implementable even by force. Then Israel has no other remedy but to accept that. Otherwise, we will stay in this kind of open battle, endlessly, where the Palestinians will revenge what happened to them for the last 4.5 months, and Israel will keep attacking the Palestinians, killing Palestinians, confiscating their land forever. This will mean no stability in the region and no stability on the long term for the interest of the United States and many others. So such countries, they have to take a decision, either to intervene now before it's too late, or this conflict will continue forever.
Finally, you mentioned the UN Security Council, but there's a long history of vetoes in favor of Israel at the UN Security Council. Many leaders from the Global South have been saying that the rules-based international order has collapsed. What steps would you like the Global South in particular to take, immediate steps, that would benefit the Palestinians?
First of all, they have to be courageous enough to call for sanctions against Israel. They have to boycott Israeli leaders. They have to boycott Netanyahu in particular and all the military. They have to boycott settlement products and settlers and the whole settlement enterprise. They have to recognize the state of Palestine, the countries who did not recognize the state of Palestine yet. We have to question, the membership of the Israel in the United States, if that's really acceptable, if it's really legal or not, because of what's really happening. We have to continue pushing for the ICJ and for the ICC, because these are very important tracks that need to be fulfilled and to be completed. South Africa initiated an excellent work, and Namibia followed, and right now Nicaragua is on board, and Colombia, Chile, Mexico, all these countries from Latin America is working on this. We have to bring in Asian countries, we have to bring in African countries, we have to bring in Arab countries, and not to be limited to Latin American countries or South Africa in particular. That's really very important. When you talk about the Global South, yes, there is a great potential there, but that potential has to be activated and mobilized.
Minister Riyad Al Maliki, thank you for talking to TRT World.
Thank you.